Okay, guys, so it finally happened. I told you guys that this October, in as much as it's going to be very bullish, there is going to be a liquidity sweep. The price was going to come down to this level and take out the stop loss and take out stop loss in this zone. All right, because this is something that happens almost in every market cycle. Whenever we're about to make the last um, move or the last rally, we always see the market sweep liquidity, and we've not seen that particular move in any of this price action over here. So that was why I kept saying in that video that price was supposed to come down to take out this liquidity over here and possibly even tap into this FEG. Remember, I told you guys that the actual target was around 104, 107, thereabouts. Now, this is just a reminder of how fragile the crypto market is. This is just a quick reminder of the cliche that people hear a lot in the crypto, so not just in crypto space, even in stocks or anything that has to do with long term, even short term investment. Do not invest your money. Do not invest a money you can't afford to lose. Now there are a lot of things, a lot of kinds of money you shouldn't invest in the crypto market, right? I'm just going to share these tips with you guys before I give you analysis of where the market is going, the next move for BTC. Number one, never invest money you cannot afford to lose. Money that when you lose, you wake up in the middle of the night and start rethinking your life. Number two, never invest your kids' school fees, never invest your house rent, never invest your money you've set aside for important projects, and of course never invest your girlfriend's handouts, all right, or monthly allowance or any kind of allowance of your spouse in the crypto market, because at some point in time the market will shock you. So this is just one of those scenarios, all right, in the market. So we've seen this liquidity sweep over here. We had this relative equal which the market just took out. Now I am still scouting the net to find out if there is any fundamental, but I have not seen any yet. So this is purely technical. Now, remember I told you guys in our October prediction of BTC, I told you guys that there is a particular trend line that BTC must come to tap. You see, one thing, the reason I prefer technical analysis over fundamentals or fundamental, any kind of analysis, is because most at times what you see on the chart is always going to happen. It's just a matter of time. All right. I told you guys something that there is what we call the third move. Would I call it third move or third touch theory? All right. In trend line. And I told you guys that whenever we see a trend line this way, right, the third one always gives the final push of this particular trend. Not really final push, but we give the impulsive move of this particular trend. Now, and I gave you guys an example of that on the weekly chart of BTC using this structure as an example, right? And I told you guys that we are going to come back to create this before we now finally see what is going to be seen as the final move in the market. And we drew a trend line from this area to this zone. And I told you guys something that whether we like it or not, whether that breakout which we saw on the 4 hour time frame, if you can remember, all right. I also did a video about that breakout. I told you guys that even though we've broken out, we didn't see that liquidity sweep, that I'm still conscious of the market because history always repeats itself. It might not repeat itself the same week of the same month, but in that particular cycle, that particular liquidity sweep must happen to confirm. There will always be a shake off in the market to confirm that the final move is now ready. So I told you guys that sometime in the future, I told you that it might not be last week, just the first week of October. It might not be this week, it might be next week, but price is definitely going to come down to tap this trend line. This is where the major move that you and I have been waiting for is going to occur. This is pure technical analysis. This is not, it has nothing to do with just mere prediction or whatever. This is pure technical analysis. So what I was trying to tell you guys in that video was that even though we saw that breakout, be cautious, because no matter what you see over here, somehow markets will need to come down, all right, either around this area or around this area, to tap this trend line before it will give the final push. It's not just going to continue moving from that level. So this is basically what is happening to crypto. So what I advise right now is that um if you are already in red, right, the decision is yours to make, right? You can decide to just hold your coins, because definitely the market is going to bounce. This is a trend line that is holding this trend. If we mistakenly see price closing on the daily, I've said this before and I'm saying it again, if we mistakenly see price closing on the daily below this trend line, I think we have another one over here. This one is not that, I'm not paying attention to that because I'm using the last two structure, which is this and this. So if we start seeing like weekly close below this trend line, just know that, yeah, I think the cycle is over. But I strongly believe that this is where the market is going to bounce from, this particular trend line. So this will push BTC to around 107, 105, 104, thereabouts. All right. So that is basically an update on what is happening in the market and what to expect from BTC in the coming days. This is just simple, straight technical analysis. All right. So, guys, take care and do have a lovely trading week ahead. Bye.